All rise. The Everything Lydia show is now in session. Lydia the lawyer presiding.
Yay! Order in this courtroom set. Please be seated, everyone. Today we are going to have the entire show dedicated to just one topic. And as you all know, don't usually do that. But it's such an important topic that we're going to be talking about online trading for the basic guy and gal. And we're going to go from everything from basic terminology through suggestions on how to start your online trading and setting up the account. We're going to tell you how to find the right stocks to trade online once you get the account set up. And finally, that's going to be using mystockwizard.com, which we're going to talk a lot about that. And finally, how you can save significant money, tens of thousands potentially or more, by not using a full-service brokerage account and by having the online trading account.
Correct.
So joining me today is James, a.k.a. Jimmy Rathgeber, Jimmy, who's been in the securities industry for many, many years, and he has a substantial knowledge of the stock market.
Correct.
However, today he is focusing exclusively on helping individuals, such as all of you out there, become successful online investors, traders, helping all of you save a ton of money and having control over your own account. There you go, right in a nutshell.
Most importantly, having control.
Right. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of how we can help our audience do all that, I think it's important that we familiarize ourselves and our audience with a few basic trading terms. The first two terms I'm going to say at the same time. We all know buy and sell.
Correct.
That's pretty obvious.
Correct.
Buying is when you're purchasing a stock. Selling is when you're selling. One of the things we're going to go into, Jimmy, which we'll discuss later, is the brokers love to buy.
Correct.
We've seen plenty of movies. We know they like to convince you to buy.
Over and
We'll go
over.
into motivations in a minute as well.
Right.
But they don't usually talk about selling. So we'll talk about that.
That's right.
GTC. What's GTC?
GTC is an acronym for Good Till Canceled Order, which is an order that you can put in. So instead of putting in, say, a day order, which would be just good for the day from 9:30 in the morning when the market opens till 4 o'clock when it closes,
Right.
and having to go back the next day and renew it again. If you put in a GTC, it means Good Till Canceled, which is
Right.
good for 90 days.
Okay, so you can say, all right, I want to purchase this stock at a certain price.
Correct.
And just, I'm a novice when it comes to this.
Sure.
So I'm the perfect...
Most people are. It's
I'm a
okay.
securities idiot.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. But I can, for 90 days, I can have that order, and if it reaches a certain price, then it'll buy it. Is that correct?
Well, how about this? Like, hypothetically, if you have an order or say stock at $10 and you want to buy it at, say, $9.75,
Right.
you can put an order in to buy the stock at $9.75, good till canceled. So if something happens where the market sells off and the stock happens to go down to $9.75, your order will be executed. You don't have to be. You could be on a plane. And the order can be executed automatically. At the same time, on the flip side, if you have something, say you buy it at 10 and you want to sell it at 11,
Right.
you can put in an order to sell it at 11, good till canceled. But after 90 days, you'll be notified by your broker, you should be,
Right.
or your online
Fine.
discount broker to
Right.
let you know that your GTC is coming up and you have to renew
Okay.
it.
So it's a reminder.
It's pretty simple. It's a great tool to have because
I like
you
that.
could be busy.
Yeah.
You could be in a meeting and something could happen with the market where the market takes off in a big way.
It's kind of like a crock pot. You set it, you forget about it.
Right, exactly. And it comes out nice and tender.
Yeah, you'll get a lot of those from me.
Okay, right.
All right, and then we have another definition. I saw this P/E. I wasn't sure what that was, but you have trailing and forward. And the definition that I saw or I read was the sum of a company's price to earnings calculated by taking the current stock price and dividing it by the trailing earnings per share for the last 12 months or for the past. So this measure, meaning trailing, differs from forward PE, what is P? Price to earnings,
Price
right?
earnings ratio.
Which uses earnings estimates for the next 4 quarters.
Right.
So in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, basically, I mean, I couldn't have read it any better.
Thank you.
But I have to tell you that it is a past indicator. You never really have a future indicator, but it's a predictor, if you will.
Gotcha.
So
All
if a
right.
stock is trading at, say, $10 and it's earning $1 a share, you have a P of 10.
Okay.
Okay, very simple. But what's unique about mystockwizard.com is we deal with profitable companies, not high flyers. They're mostly conservative companies that make money, very little debt, if any debt at all, and that's what the key is. So you're not going to go sleep at night with one eye open on your pillow, concerned about, oh my God, what did they just do today? Good companies like JA Solar that we'll talk about later. Good solid companies that have great PEs, and forward PEs. And
good.
Very exciting stuff.
Target price or target, you're going to see that. I saw that in some of the reports.
Sure.
So I think everyone should know that basically that's the price, if achieved, would result in a trader recognizing the best possible outcome, right, for his or her investment. So remember, target price is when you see the report, which we will go through a specific report, that's where you're shooting for.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Absolutely.
Target shooting for, right?
Can I make a very important point?
Yes, of course.
Brokers have a motive to contact their clients over and over and over again. Because the more times they say yes, the more money they're able to make. But you always have to question what the motive is. Do they need to make a mortgage payment? Are they trying to maybe buy a boat? All right, but you never.
We've seen a lot of movies about that.
Yeah, we know a lot of stories. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, we give a target price, and you want to know when you buy something that you eventually want to sell it, and what you're going to be selling it for. And the most important thing is taking money off the table and doing it consistently. So you never want to be greedy, because when you start getting greedy, your emotions get involved. When you start investing emotionally, that's when you make mistakes.
That's like blackjack and me. I have a system.
Well,
I take away and I take my money back. I'm telling you, right? Because there's no right.
Exactly.
Except this has a little more science to it, but not really.
The best example is if you ever go to Vegas, if you fly in at night, it's pitch black.
Right.
And all of a sudden you see like these lights out of nowhere, and you see, does the house make the money? The house makes the money. And that's why you have like these huge buildings. I say it to everybody. Be consistent, take your money off the table, don't be greedy, and you can go up at 11 o'clock at night and wake up the next morning refreshed.
And be happy.
Exactly.
All right, so over 14 million people living in a household, they use an online investing trading service of some kind.
Every month, actually.
And it's growing, and that's only in the past 12 months. So my question is this. So I don't have an online trading account, but I will after the show.
Sure.
I am telling you, I'm going to try this. Just like most of my guests. I don't care who it is. I do whatever it is that I'm having on my show or whatever topic I'm discussing.
It's really what you believe in. That's what it comes down to.
Well, I'm definitely going to try this, and I know that once I open up my account, which we're going to go into the details, but like, how do I find out what stock to buy? I don't know. I have no idea, so that's where you're going to come in.
Sure.
So the first thing I want to discuss is, I think it's important that people realize that we just spoke about gambling. Look, when I go to a casino, I say I'm going to spend X number of dollars.
Absolutely.
That's it. So I think the same holds true with money in the stock market. And I think also that's where maybe some people aren't necessarily the right people, perhaps the elderly. But then again, it depends. I don't know. I'm not a broker. I want everyone to know I'm not holding myself out as being such. I'm not giving advice. I'm just, giving suggestions, recommendations, raising awareness about a particular product. But you have to decide how much capital you're going to use to begin with. That's going to be your preliminary sum. So that's number one. Then you have to find an online brokerage. Now, not all online brokerages are the same, correct?
That's correct. In fact,
what's the differences, or how would you distinguish one from another?
It's hard.
You don't have to go into names, by the way.
To each his own. All right. But if I can use names, everyone knows the name Charles Schwab.
Yes.
And for years, Charles Schwab has always been a name that people have been able to have confidence in.
Right.
You can have E-Trade, which everybody knows is the one
baby.
They use the baby. Right. You have TD Ameritrade. There's a whole host. It's really to each his own.
Right.
So I have an account with E-Trade. It's perfect. It's simple. 1, 2, 3. You can get on. You can use your smartphone, and you can basically execute your own trades.
Right.
In literally 30 seconds, and actually get a better execution than you would using a full-service broker.
Now, I think also, I'm glad you mentioned the whole thing about different accounts, but you said this to me, we spoke earlier, that it's very important to understand the software that a particular company uses. So let's say you use E-Trade. Let's just use it as again, I don't know anything about it, but you said that you can go online and there's going to be videos that you can use. Tutorials.
Webinars.
They
offer you listen, they want to have people.
And what he says.
they don't want to be liable for you making mistakes, right?
They want you to make money.
They want you to make money at the same time, because the more trades that you do, even on a discount basis, the better it is for them. But more importantly is, they want you to be educated. An educated consumer is the best customer. I think Cy Sims used to say that.
He did.
Right? He's got a business.
But they did really well for a long time.
They did great. But my point is very simple, that they want you to be educated, and they're willing to give you the tools at your fingertips to use in order to get the best, basically trade the right way, as opposed to going out there and being reckless. You don't want
Right.
to be reckless.
Let's be real. Look,
You
I'm
wanna bet
a
over your hand.
fairly
How's that?
intelligent woman, and I use that word fairly.
Sure. But reckless?
Not reckless, but I can honestly tell you, I really wouldn't know what to do. If I opened up an E-Trade account today, which I am going to do soon,
Sure.
I would have no idea. How do you know what stocks to buy? So that leads me to,
That's
you
where we
ready?
come in, right?
Placing your initial, transactions.
Very simple.
And look, when I heard about this particular service that you and I spoke about, I said, wow, this is really cool. This is perfect for me. And I'm, I'm the approachable, kind of regular gal.
Right.
And, well, I don't know how, don't laugh, Stephanie. But when I saw this, I said, wow, this is so cool. I want to do some online trading. And that was my dilemma.
Right.
How do I find out? That's where you can go to mystockwizard.com.
Correct.
All right, so that's the URL that we're gonna be talking about, and the website. And basically, you're providing an unbiased research on a weekly basis. So why don't you
Correct.
tell us a little bit about what do you mean by unbiased? What is it? What is this mystockwizard.com, which I like.
Basically,
Personally.
it's a tool that is used by the average investor to give the average investor an above average opportunity to make money and just level the field when it comes to Main Street against Wall Street against Main Street. So basically, look, you have lawyers, doctors, people are busy, especially in today's day and age. Everybody's on the soccer field, they want to spend time with family, they might want to be boating, whatever the case may be. People don't have time to do research. So again, when a broker calls, you have to question what the motive is.
Absolutely.
What's the reason behind him calling me
Their
over and over and
commissions.
over again?
Well, we also know, and tell
Exactly.
me if this is true, and I don't mean to interrupt you, we're going to get back to it in a
Fine.
second. But brokers, they are told by their house, by the
Correct.
brokerage house, we need to promote this particular stock because of whatever incentive they may have.
That's
Is
the
that
bias.
correct?
Yes, that's where the bias comes in.
So they're going to be pushing a stock that may not necessarily, and look, we've seen this before. We've
Right.
seen it all the time. And about, that they're
Not
pushing.
intentionally.
Right, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes, but
look, they're business people. I get that,
Correct.
but they're not necessarily going to be pushing the stock in an unbiased fashion. That's all
Correct.
I'm saying.
Correct.
And this again is unbiased because there's no brokerage, there's no
Simple as explain.
commission.
Simple
So
as
go
explain.
ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted
Basically,
you.
we don't get any compensation whatsoever from any company that we highlight in our report. So in other words, there's no company calling us up saying, listen, I'll give you $5,000 if you will highlight us on a
Right.
weekly basis. We said, no, we have nothing to do with that. We have
Right.
a team of analysts that we use that spend a tremendous amount of time and effort every single week to come up with one idea per week in order to make it into our report. So at the end of the day, you never have to question what the motive is. When you look at it, we break it down to its simplest form, and we give you the buy, we give you the sell target price, and we give you the stop loss, which we'll talk about in a few moments, I'm sure.
Okay. Yes,
Which is
yes.
a very important play.
Well, that's why I kept mentioning I love this particular website. Because now what's the fee for this service?
Actually, very insignificant to what you get. It's $39 a month, which you
It's
can
$10
actually-
a week,
It's
basically.
$10 a week. It's less
Yeah.
money than to fill up your tank of gas. And what do you
40
get from a
bucks.
tank?
I went to the restaurant
Right.
just this weekend, and my Chilean sea bass cost more than that.
Okay.
I mean, come
Well,
on.
I can tell you though, it's less than you fill a tank of gas.
Of
And what do
course.
you get from a tank of gas? You get a bunch of fumes. We were up 67% last year. And
Yeah.
over the last 5 years, we have an established track record. We've provided 63% back to our clients per year.
63%.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? I'm
Yeah.
going to be very cynical
Get
and
it
a
all
little
the time.
skeptical.
What?
63%.
It's amazing.
How could that possibly be? Do you have supporting documentation or
Sure,
what is
we have
it?
a track record. It's been torn apart by attorneys, CPAs, consultants, so you can be tough. The fact of the matter is this. Whenever you are successful, people always question how you got there.
Yeah.
Look at Google. Everywhere you look today, Google. 10 years ago, Google, nobody really knew about that.
Right, you're
today,
right.
it's everywhere. But did they do anything wrong? No, they were very good, and they had a product that everybody wanted. So
Right.
what we do is this. And in business, politics, sports, take sports, Derek Jeter.
Yes.
Right? He's a future Hall of Famer. Everybody knows the name Derek Jeter. Right? He's got an established, on-run percentage. What's important is nobody sees what he does before the 7:30 game starts.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. He
well,
leaves his building at 10:30 in the morning. He
Yeah.
goes to Yankee Stadium. He's working out. He's eating right. He's working out again. He's doing batting practice. And all you see is when they show him up at the plate and he gets on base. And
Right.
he's batting, 235 or 250. So that means every 2.5 times out of 10 times he gets up at bat, he gets a hit. Right? We were up 67% last year. And granted, the market was up big last year. Right? That was pretty unusual. But the fact of the matter is we were up so that means we were up hit 67% of the time, which is amazing.
Does that percentage include the discounts, or are you incorporating somehow that into this percentage? In other words, which we'll go into the actual example in a minute.
Sure.
That you're saving thousands of dollars by not using a brokerage.
Oh, does it take into account? Well, no, we're just using the bottom line numbers.
Okay.
Just, the straight.
Wow.
Like what we recommend something at, what we sold it at, and if the stock market went down, we also include the stops if you got stopped out on a particular company.
Okay.
So meaning taking a loss. So you're taking all the gains, all the losses, and that's why it's a fair track record.
All right. Well, like I said, I love the fact also, because since I'm not a seasoned investor at all, like I know enough about the stock market and I'm familiar with the way things work, and any and all of my personal accounts are basically through a brokerage. You know the deal.
Yeah,
That's what everyone does.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that this report, which we're going to go through the specifics in 1 minute, but it gives you one stock suggestion
Per week.
Right. One.
Right.
So you're not getting, here's a million of them, pick one, or which one's better, which one's worse. And this is all done kind of like me. Look, when I do a trial, I show up and the jury's watching me. They don't realize how many countless hours I've spent preparing for that, 1 week, 2 week, whatever trial, even a day.
Right.
It's
not off the cuff.
Only the clients who pay their bills.
Right. They're the ones that see the prep work.
They see the work. They're the only ones that appreciate it. But we mentioned the $39.99 per month, but the best thing, and this is why I'm doing it also, is because the first month is free.
Correct.
So you're going to get approximately 4 tips,
sure.
depending, it was
4
4.3 weeks in a month.
4 recommendations.
4 recommendations.
Right.
And you guys have nothing to lose, really. And then you said that you can cancel at any time, correct?
Anytime. Very simple.
There's no
There's
big
no
contract like with the gym membership. You have to give them 90 days, and they're going to keep billing you, and they're going to what all this junk. Nothing like that.
Correct. We are so confident in what we have and the product that we use that there is no contract. So you're not locked into anything whatsoever. And if anybody ever wants to cancel, it's simple enough. You can send us an email. We'll cancel you immediately.
Right.
There's no hanky-panky and no smoke and mirrors. It's very plain, very fast, very forward.
Right. Well, again, so unbiased, because you're not making any money, promoting a particular business.
None whatsoever.
This is just done based upon research and the best for the subscriber.
Yep.
So that's number one, unbiased. People have complete control because it's your online account. So no one's telling me what to do. I could get that email and throw it in the garbage and do nothing, delete, or I can take it, I could read it, I could, make my trade.
Let's talk about that for a
yes,
moment. And that's
please.
important. That's where we come to. We use the word control in a very, very important way. There's no phone calls. So we're not brokers. We don't want to do your transactions. We basically want to offer you advice and give you recommendations that you can choose if you wish to take advantage of.
Right.
At the same time, instead of using a full-service broker and being charged commissions and ticket charges, which could be up to as much as $100 per transaction for you, it's very expensive.
Yeah,
right? You can basically
absolutely.
go online, you can do a trade for no more than $10, no ticket charge, and those extra expenses, they come out of your account. They come out of your pocket. Right? They shouldn't have to be taken out of your pocket. They should stay where they belong. It's in your account.
All right. Well, that leads me to, all right, we don't have it up on the screen, but basically I printed out right over here, which we're going to go through, so we don't have to actually show it, but it's a typical trade using mystockwizard.com, getting the report every week, versus a full-service brokerage firm. Now, in this particular case, we're using a $10,000 investment.
Sure.
So what we have here is using a brokerage firm. The brokerage fee could be as high as 4.9%, which is crazy. Full-service brokerage, which is, I don't know who would pay that, but nonetheless, it's there.
People pay.
And it could go down to, let's say, 2.5%, and if you have a family in the industry, maybe lower, a friend or someone that's
Nothing's
nice.
done for free, though.
But the bottom line is, so using this for a trade, so first you have a $10,000 investment.
Sure.
At 4.9%, it's $490 just to do the trade.
Correct.
That's just your brokerage fee. Or let's say you have, like you said, a friend,
sure,
someone, 2.5%. You're still paying $250 just for that one.
That's right.
The second thing is you have a ticket fee. Now that's a given. That's always going to be charged. It could be it varies probably, but let's say about $50.
Correct.
Right? So now adding up those two, you're now per transaction at 4.9%, you're spending $540. Or, with the lesser percentage, 2.5%, $300 just for one trade.
But let's explain something.
Yes.
The stock has to go up by 5.4%, right, on the full commission, along with the ticket charge. It has to go up by 5.4% in order for you to break even.
Oh.
Before you start making money. The broker's already made the money.
Right.
All right. On the discounted base, it has to go up by 3%. In this particular example, all right, if you're using mystockwizard.com, right, if you do a transaction, you're spending $10.
Right. So that's using. So you have your E-Trade account, your Charles, whatever online account you're using.
Right.
They usually charge a flat fee of approximately $10, give or take a few bucks. And other than the weekly $10 cost, because it's $40 a month,
Right.
you're now spending $20 on that trade that would have cost you either $540,
Correct.
or with the discount, $300. I mean, do the math. I'm not a math person.
Do the math, very simple.
What's the percentage that you're saving? And this
it's
transaction.
tremendous. Think about it for a moment. If you have a $10,000 investment,
Yes.
right, it's going to be $10,540 on a full service commission. On a discounted basis, using that, it would be $10,300. If using mystockwizard.com, it's going to cost you $10,010.
And $10.
That's a significant amount of money.
Yes, it is. Now that's just one trade.
But it's your money.
Over the course of the time, you're doing.
Right, but
you're
I'm saying-
buying. Yes.
Right, but it's your money, and that, it
Yes.
should stay where it belongs. And if you're not being pushed to do something, the amount of anxiety goes down tremendously. Investing should be fun to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Right, and you shouldn't ever really, invest over your head, as they say.
Right. Well, that was what I
but
was
more
trying
importantly, it's peace of mind. Like I said, you're not dealing with companies that are high flyers. You're not going for the next company that's going before the Food and Drug Administration for an anti-obesity drug, and stocks at 20 that can go to 50 on approval, but nobody ever thinks about the flip side. If they don't get it, stocks at 50 cents.
Right.
And you're wiped out.
Wiped out.
All right, and that's the important thing. We're dealing with good, solid companies.
What about the sell? Are they also getting a commission on the sell or fees?
Oh, the brokers, of course.
Well, there you
Nobody's
go.
doing anything
So they're
for free.
getting you on the way in
getting
and
you
on the way out. But using this service,
Right.
so this is what I love about this, because I like saving. I like luxury and quality,
Absolutely.
but I like value. So and the quality part. So so on the sell, you're not even paying. You're paying the $10, but you still use that same report for the buy and the sell, because you're
Correct.
getting information in the report for both.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
we will also send you an email if it does in fact reach a sell target price.
Oh, so you do in addition to that?
Oh,
I
absolutely.
didn't
In
know
fact,
that.
let's give you a hypothetical. Let's say the stock market, we'll use a company, say at $1, right, which we don't recommend small stocks like that.
Right.
All right, say we recommend something at $1, and again, it's a hypothetical number, right? If you're dealing with a broker, it's a full service broker, he can charge you almost $1.05, okay? So, and if he discounts to say $1, $2.50. If you're using My Stock Wizard, it's going to cost you $1 plus $10 to do that transaction, all right? So more importantly is when we have a target price, say $1.12, if it goes to say $1.08 or $1.09, and the market in that same time frame is only up maybe 2 or 3%, we actually might issue a sell alert, even though it hasn't gone to our target price, because the market isn't up that much, but we're up 6 or 7 or 8% above what the market is, and what that's called is alpha. Anything above what the S&P does in that time frame is called alpha. So say it goes to $1.10 instead of $1.12, and we issue a sell alert, and the stock market's up 2%. Well, we have an alpha of 8. So we will issue a sell alert, because like I said, if you consistently take money off the table at the end of the year, you have a lot more money than you started with.
Right.
Percentage-wise.
So you're not only getting the report, you are getting additional information.
Correct. As to when to sell.
Emails.
Right.
As to suggestions on when, and again, no one's compelled, no one's forcing you. This is just information
There's
that
no
you can do
phone
whatever you want
calls.
with
You're
it.
not being bothered in the
Right.
middle of a meeting with
Right.
or family time or a soccer game. This is something where you can make up your own
And you
mind.
can do it on your cell phone. You pick up your phone,
Pick up
right?
your phone. You can log on. It takes 2
You go
seconds.
on your E-Trade account. I think they have apps now that you could
Yeah,
put
I
your
have
online
right-
account.
Yeah, no, app
right?
with E-Trade. Takes
you
2 seconds.
could be on the soccer field and you'll get your email and you're going to basically say, okay, buy this, sell that, whatever, and you're right there.
Yeah,
doing it.
I mean,
you can follow it.
It's truly amazing.
exciting.
I mean, with today's technology,
Yeah.
you could be, climbing the pyramids in Egypt. You can get an email, and if you decide you want to do something, you can plug it in, right,
Perfect.
and get back to climb the mountain, the pyramids.
This is a copy. I mean, I'm not going to show it to you guys, but this is basically a report. It's an email that you receive.
Correct.
This particular one is referencing JA Solar Holdings Co. Ltd.
Right, symbol JASO.
Can you just give a quick rundown of what these reports that the subscribers receive? What does it contain, and why is this information important? And just quickly kind of give a
Again,
rundown.
it's broken down into its simplest form. So by the time you get it, we'll give you the price it's at, right? We'll give you what the sell target price is, what we're looking to take off the table, sell for a profit, how many shares are outstanding, the amount of shares that trade per day on an average 3-month
Which most
basis.
of this stuff is not really relevant to me, though, correct?
No, but we break it down so you understand exactly what you're looking at.
Okay.
All right, and more importantly is we'll tell you a little bit about the industry, but then we give you concrete facts as to why it's being recommended. But you're not going
like
through
that.
you're not going through 20 pages of charts and histograms trying to figure out is this the right company for me. It's in its simplest form. So when
This
you look
is
at
4
it,
pages. 3.5 pages.
It's right, exactly. But again, it's very simple to read. It's nothing that's going to make you anxious. It's not going to make you concerned about should I be involved with it. It's very simple. And again, very well thought out, good profitable companies, cash flow positive.
Well, it's Main Street meeting Wall Street, which I love.
Yeah, but Wall Street usually takes advantage of the little guy. This is to help the little
Right.
guy, and it levels the field out considerably.
Yeah. I love the fact that there's a summary of what
Sure.
the company is. So in this particular case, it's talking about the principal products, and it gives a list of what they do. When it's founded, and it gives you an investment thesis. It's awesome. Valuation, potential acquisition target, and it's simple, and it's written in very, very simple terms.
Right.
So I think that's
Lydia,
really
by the
special.
time you get done reading it from top to bottom, it should
Yeah.
literally take you, and if you want to do a trade, it should take you 5 minutes tops. From the time you
Yeah.
get the email, by the time you read the email, go online, whether it's through your computer, through your smartphone,
Yeah.
to do a trade, it should be 5 minutes. All right, so nobody pestering you,
Right.
nobody pressuring you to do something that you don't really feel comfortable
Yeah,
doing.
you have the
All right?
information, do
You're
whatever
the
you
one who decides what
Sure.
you want to put behind a particular idea, dollar-wise.
And I love at the end of the report, it says we are establishing a short-term target price of $11.50 per share. So you know that's your target.
Right, and
what
that's
you're gonna be
only
looking
maybe
for.
17, 18, 20%.
Right.
It's nothing crazy.
That's great.
Right, so you're not looking for $20 saying, you're swinging for the fences. If you consistently hit singles,
Yeah.
right, it's amazing how many runs you can actually score in a game.
Well, Jimmy, can you believe the time has come?
Is it really?
Yes.
To say goodbye?
So if someone wants information, they're going to go to
MyStockWizard.com.
.com.
It's the best.
And check it out. Look at the website. You can get examples of what we're discussing, the reports. And again, first month is free, so you have nothing to lose. And otherwise, it's $39.99 a month.
Correct.
Or if you pay up front, I think there's a small
We
discount or
discounted a
a
little
certain
bit, yes,
savings you
correctly.
have.
Yep.
So that's it for the day. This court is now adjourned. Today we are adjourned, and we welcome everyone to come back to the Everything Lydia show next Monday at 2:30 p.m. and every other Monday. And if there's any part of the show that you might have missed, then please visit thedailyblue.com, and you can go to the show, you can watch it all over again and get all this information that we shared. And finally, remember everyone to go check your ordinary at the door, go live that remarkable life, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye, everyone.